Hello, coin collectors out there. What you're looking at is the highest minted penny prior to 1940. Yep, taking it all the way back to 1919. There were actually a ton of these produced. So that's what this video is going to get into, as well as I have some other bonus coins to share with you at the end of the video. So back in 1919, Woodrow Wilson was the president. Other things that happened during that year were former President Teddy Roosevelt passed away in his sleep in January, and Babe Ruth was sold from the Red Sox to the Yankees for $125,000, which was an absolute ton of money at the time. So let's get back into the coin itself. You're probably thinking that this coin, due to the fact that it's 98 years old, coming up on 100, is probably worth a considerable amount of money. But it's actually one of the more common wheat pennies that you'll find out there. Now that we've established the date, I'll flip it over for you. Now this penny, you can find it while coin roll hunting. That's how I picked up this one right here. But you can also buy it on eBay for just a couple of dollars. So if you're looking to add to your collection of wheat pennies, this might be a great one that you can pick up online for relatively cheap. So in 1919, I said there were a lot of these produced. There were 392 million. That's an absolute ton. And that was produced just at the Philadelphia Mint. There were an additional 57 million produced at the Denver Mint and 139 million produced at the San Francisco Mint. So if you compare that to the Philadelphia mintage for the years following that, there were 319 million produced at the Philadelphia Mint in 1920. In 1921, there were only 39 million. I think around 21, they kind of got the picture that they might have overdone it a little with the mass production of the 1919 penny. So if you fast forward, looking through the chart of mintages for the coin, you won't see anything higher than that 1919 mintage until you get to 1940. So in 1940, there were obviously quite a lot produced. There were 586.8 million produced. So they really kind of cranked it back up in 1940. In 1939, there were only 316 million, but in 1940, way up for the Philadelphia Mint to 586 million. In 1940, there were also 81 million produced at the Denver Mint and 112 million produced at the Grand San Francisco Mint. So now that we've established that this is actually a very common coin, you are going to want to look for one that's in better circulation than the one I have here. The one I have here is definitely a little bit faded. You can see the one itself, it looks like it's kind of about to fall off there, or it's been sandpapered down or something. It's not very prevalent, that one in the second one in 1919. So, as I usually do on my more recent videos, I'm going to introduce a few friends. Here's one. 12 years prior to 1919, we had 1907. And back in 1907, they were still making the Indian head pennies. The Indian head pennies were made up until 1909. So in 1907, there were 108 million of these Indian head pennies made. Let me get the old 1919 out of the picture so we can look at this coin a little bit better. So this is the Indian head penny. Now, if you're looking at yours and you want to kind of determine the grade of it, a key area to look is in the feathers here. If you can see a lot of details in the feathers, then it's going to be worth significantly more. Mine doesn't have a lot of details in the feathers, so not going to be worth quite as much. Flip it over here, and this is the standard reverse for the Indian head penny. It says 1 cent. You can see in better coins, you can see a ribbon down here that's holding some arrows together amongst the wreath. We've got a shield at the top right here. Again, if yours has better details in the wreath than mine, then it'll be worth more money. So that took us all the way back to 1917, which I said the mintage on that was 108 million. Now let's jump forward. We're taking time machines all over the place to 1917. So we just jumped forward 10 years, back 2 years from where we originally started. But in 1917, there were 196 million produced at the Philadelphia Mint, 55 million at the Denver, and 32 million at the old San Francisco. And this one's going to be worth a little bit more than that 1919 because the mintages are much lower. And while we're in this decade, we can share with you the 1915. 1915. Does anyone want to take any guesses on that? Before you guess, I'll give you the background in case you've forgotten. The 1919 had 392 million at the Philadelphia. The 1917 had 196 million at the Philadelphia. So 1915, mintage way, way, way low. In 1915, there were only 29 million of these made at the Philadelphia. There were also 22 million at the Denver and 4 million at the San Francisco. And if you thought that was the end of the video, well, not, because we've got another one to introduce from around that same decade. This is the 1916. However, it's about the same size as the penny, but it's not a penny. It's worth 10 cents more. It's the dime. So this is the Mercury dime. The Mercury dime was made from 1916 to 1945. So I've introduced this coin on some of my other videos. So this might be a little bit repetitive, but I figured since I'm making a video about the 1910s, I can't make one without reminding people of the beauty of the Mercury dime. So in 1916, there were 22 million of these produced at the Philadelphia Mint. There are some very, very, very rare Denver Mint version of these coins. There were only 264,000. So only 264,000 Denver Mint Mercury dimes. So if you're in the Mercury dime business, look for the 1916 Mercury dime. Also look for Mercury dimes that are in better condition than this one right here. Well worn out around the edges on the reverse of the coin, but it's still a great coin nonetheless. So I'll start to wrap it up here. I'll show you the review of the coins that I've shared so far. So we have the 1916 Mercury dime. I'll try and get these in order. We have the 1907 Indian head penny. We have the 1915 wheat penny. We had the 1917 wheat penny. And we had the 1919 wheat penny. So I'll wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you're into coin collecting, please do check out some of the other videos on my channel. Hopefully you have a great day and best of luck with the coin collecting.